On May 28, 2024, Russian President Vladimir Putin delivered a significant speech at a press conference following his visit to Uzbekistan. This speech served as a stark warning to the West about the severe consequences of escalating the conflict in Ukraine. Let's delve into the speech to better understand Russia's stance and the challenges facing the world today. Putin's warning to the West. In his speech, Putin emphasized that Moscow is closely monitoring the statements from Western leaders about allowing Ukraine to use Western-supplied weapons to attack Russian territory. He warned that this escalation could lead to serious repercussions. But what exactly are these repercussions? 1. Risk of nuclear war. Putin has repeatedly hinted that Western intervention could lead Russia to use nuclear weapons. This is not just a threat, but a wake-up call about the dangerous situation we're in. Number 2. Military escalation. Russia has established a military buffer zone to respond to attacks on Russian residential areas. This shows that Moscow is ready to escalate the conflict if necessary. A full-scale war might not be far off. The meaning behind the warning. Putin also stressed that NATO, especially European countries, needs to think carefully before taking action. What does this mean for Western nations? 1. Careful consideration. Western countries need to reevaluate their strategy in Ukraine. Military support should be carefully considered to avoid further escalation. 2. Dialogue over confrontation. Putin urged the West to seek solutions through dialogue rather than confrontation. This is crucial advice if we want to avoid a global conflict. Consequences for the world and the U.S. Global consequences. 1. Economic instability. The war in Ukraine has already caused significant global economic instability. Rising energy and food prices are making life difficult for people worldwide. 2. Risk of wider conflict. If the conflict in Ukraine is not contained, it could spread to other regions. This might lead to a new Cold War, or worse, World War III. Consequences for the U.S. 1. Internal pressure. Supporting Ukraine places financial strain and creates division within the U.S. Politicians and citizens are debating the extent of U.S. involvement in the conflict. 2. International credibility. The U.S. needs to maintain its international credibility. However, too much intervention might erode support from allies and lead to unintended consequences. Bleak future predictions. If the parties involved don't achieve their goals, the world might face some grim scenarios. 1. Full-scale war. If uncontrolled, the conflict in Ukraine could escalate into a full-scale war between Russia and NATO, leading to catastrophic global consequences. 2. Global economic crisis. A prolonged war will weaken the global economy, causing severe and lasting economic crises. 3. Shifting world order. This conflict could reshape the world order, with clear polarization among major powers. A new world may emerge with new challenges and opportunities. Conclusion. Putin's speech on May 28, 2024, is a serious warning about the escalation in Ukraine. The world needs to listen and carefully consider its next moves. We are at the threshold of a new era, and today's decisions will shape the future of humanity. Let's pray for peace and seek solutions through dialogue rather than confrontation.